spring of 2011, we knew that our contract with EPL had about another year to go, and we have been with EPL for a long time. I think at that time it was about 28 years total that we'd been with EPL, using them as our processor. So it had been a while since we looked at other systems. We had about a year to go on our contract with EPL, and we had not looked at systems in a long time. So we thought this would be a good opportunity to see what's out there on the market, see what have changed. Did we have current technology? Did we have current pricing? Did we have good enough service? Just exactly, if we were missing anything, we wanted to know what we were missing and how we went about getting that. So in the spring of 2011, we began to look at other vendors, other data processing vendors. I think we looked at a total of 6 altogether in the process of looking through vendors. And some of those we didn't look at very long. In fact, one we asked for a couple of references of credit unions that used them. And we talked to those credit unions, and they said if I could convert from them tomorrow, I would do it. So we didn't even bother with a demonstration with that company. So we began to see pretty quickly that it was pretty much a mixed bag out there as far as vendors and the type of service you get, and how much interest credit unions had in their vendors. There's been a lot of conversions in our area here in Mississippi to other vendors from EPL, and we even got some feedback from those folks, which was not so good. So that led us kind of at the beginning of it to think that we might have a pretty good system with EPL with what we had. What we found in looking at all those processors, we were looking for, first of all, is the software modernized? Is it cutting edge? Is it what we need to do to go forward to be a larger credit union, provide more service to our members? Second, how is the service after the sale? What kind of service do we get when we have problems with the system, or when we're converting systems, or when we're adding new services? How hard is that to do? And the third thing, I guess, was pricing. Do we have the right pricing? Are we paying too much? Systems kind of grow over time, contracts kind of grow over time, and you add things to them, and that becomes more expensive. And at some point, you're better off just to kind of go back and take a look at all of that and get a little better concentration and get some efficiencies out of that. So those were the 3 things we were really looking for when we set out to find a system. As I said, it had been a long time since we'd looked at systems, 28 years. So we figured a lot of water had gone under the bridge, and a lot of changes had been made in those 28 years. But really, we were kind of surprised to see that the systems we looked at, out of those 6 systems, there were only about 2 systems, EPL and one other one, that seemed to be more cutting edge than the rest of them. In fact, I went to one user conference to a really popular processor, and it was like stepping back in time about 12 or 15 years to things we had covered at EPL 12 or 15 years ago at a user conference, things they were just bringing out, and kind of led me to believe, or really it didn't lead me to believe, it made me certain that their software was not as up to date as what we needed, even though they're a very popular processor. So we wrote them off the list pretty quickly. But when it all came down to the final result, and it was EPL and one other processor, I think the thing that finally the software appeared fairly equal, the pricing appeared about equal, but it got down to personnel and people that you call when you have a problem. And we've been dealing with EPL folks, some of them for all of those 28 years. So we knew the people at EPL, we knew what they could do for us, and we knew that we were in good hands if we had a problem. So that kind of became the final linchpin that made the decision for us, do we want to stay with EPL? And we've been very well satisfied that we made the right decision in that almost year-long process.